What's going on YouTube? Cloverbuzz here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be recapping day 1 data from the Latin America International Championships. So rather than wait till the whole thing is over, I wanted to break up this video into several parts here because there's a lot to talk about, and I felt like one video might be a little bit too long. So I'm going to break this up into 2 parts here. So we're going to look at day 1, and we have the data here from PokeData, so good job on them for giving us this, so this way we can do a video like this. But this is another resource that can give us up-to-date data, and right now this is what we've got. And what we're going to do is recap some of these teams already that have made it on to day 2. We'll look at some of the niche options as well, and some interesting archetypes that are starting to come about here, because this is important stuff. If you're going to Sacramento, this is the one that you want to look at for up-to-date data. And then from here, this is where the meta will shift a little bit as far as the results are, right? And I know it's not like over yet, but there's some interesting options here that people are definitely going to explore and look to build upon as we head into Sacramento. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at some of these teams. Okay, first things first, we always like to look at usage data because that gives us a little bit of a preview and the setup for what we're going to look at in terms of the overall teams and archetypes. So no surprise here with the top 3. Sneasel, Rillaboom, and Gholdengo. Sneasel, 44% usage, so a little bit under the 50% mark that it's been hitting, but still very, very high usage. Rillaboom at second place there with 37%. I'm a little bit surprised at the Gambit dropping to 29%. I thought I would see a little bit much higher than this. In fact, maybe even right next to Gholdengo here, but Gholdengo a close third here with 33% as expected. Dragonite now at 4th place with 32%. More Incineroar usage now, 32%. So normally it's been capping around that 25-27 percentile. Now you're up to 32%. So people are picking it back up because look at this. Dragonite going multi-scale. Sneasel, again, so high usage. Same with Rillaboom. These are 3 Pokemon you want to intimidate. And then at the same time, you have dark damage and dark typing into the Gholdengo. Instant looks good against the top 4, right? So to no surprise, actually, that it not only stays within the top 6, but now you're also rising within usage a little bit. And then the Gambit here, 29%, still very strong, still going very, very hard with damage and overall bulk. Then your Arcanine here at 26%, so not as high usage as the D-Knight, but still very strong along with Pelipper. And notice how the Arcanine has much higher usage than Pelipper because you're not only playing Arcanine on the rain teams, you're actually able to play it separately with the sturdy sets, with the power herb sets, with protect. You don't need Pelipper for those type of ideas. So hence, you can put it on different types of teams, which means more usage and more flexibility with the Pokemon. Among Us still going strong here. 21%. Again, gives you that Trick Room matchup, gives you that solid bulky redirector. Spore Pressure is very strong. And no surprise here within this top 12. What is surprising is some of these guys. Okay, Electabuzz cracking the top 12 here, okay, as opposed to something like Magmar. But Buzz has always been good, throughout Regulation H, but now you're getting even more value at this point in the meta. 16.5% usage is quite the interesting result there. And then how about this? Ursaluna, the regular one. I thought we might see the Blood Moon in this graphic, but actually it's in 13th place here, so the Blood Moon is 1 spot behind the Basculegion. But the fact that the regular Ursaluna is on here is a little bit surprising to me. But at the same time, I'm not surprised either because not only is it used a little bit more on those Porygon balance teams, but it's actually used a little bit outside of that. And there is a rain variant that is using this Blood Moon Ursaluna to its fullest extent. And we'll talk more about that when we start looking at the teams. But because of that, I think that is what's putting the Ursaluna a little bit more over the top. And a lot of things are weak to ground. Look at this. Sneasel, weak to ground. Gholdengo, weak to ground. Incineroar, weak to ground. King Gambit, weak to ground. Arcanine, weak to ground. Electabuzz, weak to ground. That is 6 Pokemon of the top 12 that's weak to ground. You need that coverage, okay? This is why Rillabooms are running high horsepower now instead of U-turn, because the ground coverage is so valuable. And to no surprise, having an actual ground type that's not Garchomp is going to have good results here. So nice to see that. Very interesting, very surprising. I wouldn't say very surprising, but you know, I did not expect to see the regular Ursaluna higher than the Blood Moon. Let's leave it at that. Then, of course, Basculegion over here. And again, it's not just all about putting it on a rain team. This thing is still a monster outside of it because you can go for that Choice Scarf adaptability set, which is doing a ton of damage, and it's rising even more now. And I think as we head into Sacramento, this will be a mainstay. So, you know, stay tuned for that. But if you're trying to use it, you know, you can't go wrong with it here. So overall, pretty nice ideas here from day one. I can't say I'm surprised at some of this stuff. Row 1 looks like a team. Row 2 looks like its own team too, right? You know, tell me not. Tell me not. So sometimes you always get that idea when you look at these graphics. But now that we've seen this, let's look at some of the teams and let's see what we can gather from some of the squads. Okay, so let's look at some of the top 8, top 10 teams here because it's actually very unique when you think about it. You know, some of the Pokemon might be the same, but actually the archetypes are relatively different. So look at this from Eric Rios here, 8-0, and you know, it looks like somewhat standard, but not really because there's some interesting options here. First of all, the Annihilate is a Focus Sash set. Oh my goodness. This looks like something from the Global Challenge. I'm not quite sure, but I think there was Tailwind Dragonite on that type of team, and there's no Tailwind here. So Eric may have changed the sets a little bit, but Focus Sash Annihilate is actually very, very interesting. Look at this. You've got Close Combat Coaching, Rage Fist, Taunt, okay, and there's no Protect here. It's just a Sash. The Goldango is a Citrus Berry set. Rillaboom, pretty standard set. So is Incin over here, but look at the item. It's Mirror Herb Incineroar. Oh my goodness. And we kind of saw this a little bit from the Arcanine from Justin Tang's team, which we're going to preview in a second. But that is very, very interesting. The fact that we have Mirror Herb Intimidators now. So more about that later in the whole recap video. But this is what we're seeing right now. And then the Electabuzz here, this one is pretty standard. There is a Terra-type Dragon over here, but that's okay. So all in all, the fact that there's also Tailwind Dragonite, even though this one doesn't have it, that goes to show you a little bit more development as we head into Sacramento. So we'll see how far Tailwind Scale Shot Dragonite can go. Even though Eric didn't have it, we're going to see that in a second. How about the return of Ashton Cox, though? Look at this, 8-0. Latin America is his stomping ground. 2-time champ. Look at this. He's coming in with Kamo-O along with the Solo Dozo stuff. It looks like Kamo Sneasel balanced stuff, but again, fake out Sneasel with the Stellar Sash over here. This is the setup combo with the special attack, you know, flamethrower idea. Then it's Specs Goldango, Rillaboom, same stuff here, and then the Electabuzz here for the redirection stuff. So all in all, it's like you take out the dragon here, like whether it's Dragonite or Dragapult, and then you put in Kamo here, right? So nice job there from Ashton. And then as we keep going down here from Kylan's team, look at this Dondozo Tatsugiri. We knew this would come back into play here, but it's the pieces that I'm interested in to support the Dondozo here. It's Volcarona with Tailwind, okay? It's Will-O-Wisp, Tailwind, Volcarona. Then you've got Goggles Annihilate here, and then the Dragonite here is again another loaded dice set with Scale Shot, Extreme Speed, Haze. The Arcanine is a power-up set. Obviously, there's no rain on this side, so you're gonna have to go for the power-up set here with Protect and Sturdy. Again, now we're at the point where we're starting to see some variance in these Arcanines. They're not just all Assault Vest Stamina anymore. You really have to pay attention to what kind of sets they're running. And the key is to look, you know, is there a Pelipper or is there not, right? After this, then we've got Renzo Navarro over here. This is pretty much the back scalper idea. But look at this. It's not quite the same team, but, you know, the power of Basculegion, adaptability, and the Choice Scarf set. Again, it's just taking names. And look at this. It's the Terra Blast with Terra Fairy over here. Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, Basculegion. That's another smart tech option there. You know, all things considered, great against some of the dragons, great against some of the other dark types. And, you know, there's no fairy coverage here. Normally this would be like a Primarina here, but there's no Primarina Click and Moonblast. So now this is your fairy type, right? With your Basculegion. You do have Coaching Sneasel, which you can always lead into Back Scalper and go for these coaching boosts. And then the Scale Shot is going to do so much damage. Same with the Icicle Spear. And then these are other coaching targets all in all. And look at the Volcarona. Again, this is the other Volcarona set with Covert Cloak, Terra Blast, Terra Fairy. So you've got two fairy types here, technically, right? So that's interesting in itself. I do respect that play. But also, again, the Terra Fairy, again, that's just also to help you resist against the dark type coverage. Think King Gambit, Sucker Punch, right? So that's pretty cool there. Nice adjustment there. How about Edu's team over here? The Dragonite here. There's your Tailwind loaded dice Dragonite. This is what we looked at. This is Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Goldango. This is your Doug trio. And then you got the Fake Out Boys with Instant and Rillaboom here. And then here's Coaching Sneasler. Interesting choice to go coaching on this type of team. But again, you do have the Dragonite here, which you want to definitely beef up here. So this way you can do some big damage. But the fact that we do have Tailwind is also quite nice. Again, you don't have to quite rely so much on your scale shots. And then Tailwind just really helps the Blood Moon and the Goldango outspeed threats and, take KOs. So yeah, and then after that, it's just a very balanced Tailwind team. So it's almost like you can call it Tailwind balance. But more on this a little bit later. There's actually some variations of this. I've even seen Amoonguss in this slot as opposed to Rillaboom for the Trick Room matchup. But still the same idea. And then as we go down here, look at this. Mr. Tyranitar himself, right? Lenduel coming back with Lentar, as they call it, right? Garchomp, Tyranitar, Corviknight. You start with those three, okay? And you're immediately, the Lenduel fan over here. Then you've got Goldango, Dragapult, and Kilowattrel. Very interesting choices here. Kilowattrel, of course, normally you might see competitive on it, but it's not. Instead, it's Volt Absorb. So very interesting there. And then Goldango here with Choice Specs Trick. Of course, makes sense. There's not quite, there's no redirection here. And then the Dragapult here. It's the special Dragapult set with Shadow Ball and Flamethrower. So this is a very interesting choice here. Again, double Ghost type here, but you still get this double Dragon Core with Dragapult and Garchomp. Usually not quite the double Dragon idea that you would expect, right? But we do see it here, so quite the interesting choice. And this Corviknight is a Tailwind set. Usually, they may go for stuff like bulk up Body Press stuff or bulk up Brave Bird ideas with Roost, but we have double Tailwind users here with the Corviknight and the Kilowattrel. So quite the interesting choice there from Len. Let's see how far he goes with that kind of Tyranitar set. Then as we go down into 7th here from William, this one is your Screens Ninetales idea, right? So again, the entire team is super bulky. You've got coaching here on your Sneasler, of course, with the Incin, the Dragonite, the Kingambit. These are all options that you can coach. Same with the Dondozo over here. But look at this. You are White Herb Sneasler over here. So that's an item that has seen a little bit more increased usage as of late. Again, just to get around the Intimidate stuff. And then you proc on Burden after that. So it's just immediate value to your speed, all things considered, right? And look at this. It's Ice Spinner, D-Knight. Like, again, Dragonite wants like 10 moves, honestly. And Ice Spinner is very strong at removing terrain from stuff like the Indeedee Size Spammed ideas and even the Rillaboom stuff too. So nice to see Ice Spinner, D-Knight have some good value here. And like we said, this is a Screens Alolan Ninetales set. So this way you can make this entire team super bulky and potentially just hide behind it and absorb a lot of damage and then deal more damage right back. Then over here, Matthew, so I believe he's used this team below. This is the combo Sneasler balance idea too. But look at this, it's Iron Defense Body Press combo. So 2 combos over here within the top 8 and both the opposing sets here. But look at this. Again, this is Grassy Seed Sneasler with the Rillaboom here. So another way to proc the Unburden. Then you've got Gambit, Rillaboom, Volcarona. We know what we're getting with these guys over here, right? And then this is, again, the Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. So this is your win condition here. Covert Cloak helps you against the other Sneasers. They can't click their shenanigans into you because of that item. And then once again, we do see the Choice Scarf, Adaptability, Basket Legion, just dealing so much damage and then not necessarily relying on the rain for speed control here. You do have the Choice Scarf, and if you are Jolly, you can outspeed the Dragapults already. And then even if you're Adamant, you don't outspeed the Pult, but then you can just outspeed other things and then just deal even more damage. So to each their own. But again, not a nice turnout here from Combo within the top 8. And then even some of these other teams, right? I just even want to preview the 9th place team over here. Look at this. Same thing, right? It's just pick your dragon. Give me a Sneasler. Give me Gambit, Rillaboom, and a Redirector. In this case, it'll be Electabuzz, which means my fire type will be Volcarona. And then here's my my dragon type here with the Dragonite. And this is probably the way to go moving forward in terms of Sneasler balance. This is one of the ideas. There's many ways to do it, but this is one of the ones. And we talked about this before when we looked at our video with, best teams right now. for Regulation H. I think this was one of them too. So nice to see it have good, strong results here. And this will be something to be feared heading into Sacramento. I think this is one of the better Sneasler balance teams. Dragonite is just so good right now. But again, we'll see how far it can go, right? But overall, I think there's some other neat options here that I want to look at, especially some of the tech options, besides the niche Pokemon here. But that's your top 8. So not pretty much as expected, not too bad. But the differences in the movesets and the item choices here and there is what makes all the difference. Okay, right here, this is what I wanted to look at. This is what we were mentioning when we looked at the usage data for day 1. How about Ursaluna over here on these Arcanine and Rain teams? Now, prior to this, you did see Ursaluna on Arcanine and Rain, but it looked like this. You had Ursaluna, you had Porygon 2, then you had the Arcanine and Rain idea, with Arc Pelipper, okay? Then you had stuff like Incineroar, and then you had, the Amoonguss. This was your idea for combining the Ursaluna with the Arc Rain idea, okay? And we made this for our good friend Philip Cohen, and he used it in a tournament, and he got top 4, right? 8-3 result. So really strong ideas there. And the whole point is to make this Ursaluna super fast, right? Because what you're doing here is with Pelipper, when you go for Tailwind, these Ursalunas, now they're going 96 speed, okay? Ideally, which means 204 investment or even just 1 point under to get it to 95. Why? Because under Tailwind, you outspeed the Sneasler, and then you can KO it. And not all the Sneaslers are Focus Sash now, right? So that's important. If you can outspeed a Sneasler with your own Tailwind, then you can just KO it right back with either Earthquake or Facade. And that's extremely valuable, all to say, right? But now, as we go into this team, look at this rendition. So you still have Pelipper, Arcanine, of course, but now you're running this. And this is interesting because I did see this, from the VGC pace, and this is the team, okay? Now, I'm not going to say that these are the same EVs, okay? But this was that 6, but the sets are a little bit different. But look at this. Like we mentioned, this this is Ursaluna is super fast, meant to outspeed the Sneasler, and then this Pelipper is pretty bulky to an extent, right? You got all this speed here. You're not max speed, you're not max special attack, but you do have some investment here in HP and defense. And then the Dragonite here, also not max speed, but you do have some attack here, but you are very bulky in terms of HP and some defense and some SPDF. But look at this, Scale Shot, Tailwind, and Haze. It is Encore, but no Protect. I think this variant did have Protect, and it does, yes, so we got rid of Encore there. But look at this, you still are Terra Fairy, so that's going to be good against the Mirror matchup when they want to Scale Shot you. But the Sinistcha here makes all the difference. We've done this before. We've used Arcanine and Rain with Sinistcha. You can just heal yourself, back to full, and then heal your Ursaluna also back to full. But here's the idea: this Arcanine, look at this, Terra Fighting, Bold Nature Arcanine. Look at that. That means you're gonna get harder hitting body presses, but you can still deal some damage, with electro shots and flash cannons and whatnot. But you need to ramp up your damage a little bit more because you're not gonna have that much of a special attack stat. So yes, you can still get +1 and stuff, but look at this. Terra Fighting Body Press looks like the mainstay here for this type of set. And then it's a Scarf Goldengo here, almost max speed here. But you do have the Trick idea with Protect. Holy smokes. Wait, I don't know. That one I don't know about, but is that what we saw here? Yeah, we did. So it looks like it's almost the same team, but this Pelipper has a Focus Sash here, whereas this one had the goggles. So I guess they found a little bit more value out of that. But other than that, it's pretty much the same team. The only other difference is the Dragonite does have Protect over something like Encore. So maybe there was some EV adjustment here, but this is pretty interesting to say the least, coming from Victor Medina over here. So that might be the new Rain variant as we head into Sacramento. Things can change, obviously, maybe an item or a tech move here, of course. But as far as like that 6, I like it. And we'll see what happens as we go throughout the week leading into, that next regional. Paul Roos over here. So this one, again, going with the Sinistcha idea on these Rain teams. But look, it's Maushold Annihilate. So still using this kind of idea. We've seen this before. I think it was like Life Orb Pelipper even, but that one was with screens. This one doesn't have screens. You still have this redirection idea. So this is pretty cool. I like it a lot. But then there's some other options here that I wanted to also preview. This one right here from Yuki. So I was talking with my friend, Keanu, right? That's one of our viewers, right? And someone who's been, representing the Clover Academy very, very well. But I sent him this 6. I was like, you know what? I think this 6 could do really well, right? This was like a couple of days ago. And then look, right here, we have it from Yuki Zananovich. It's the same 6. Listen, you can't go wrong with these 4. Look, I'm going to put the 4 on the screen. And if you want hyper offense, this is what you do right now in Regulation H. You go with the Tailwind user. In this case, it's Talonflame. Then you go with your big nuker and the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Then after that, you lead the Size Spam duo with the Sneasler and the male Indeedee, okay? This is how you should really start. These 4 right here, this is your court. The last 2 pieces is up to you. I've seen the Dondozo idea from the Nielsen brothers. I've seen other ideas, with other stuff, but this one is one that I like the most because I like Arcanine here with this type of set. You're just more aggressive. You got Power Herb, and then Goldengo under Tailwind just does so much damage. You could even lead this. Just click Terra Steel, make it rain. Even if you don't pick up KOs, whatever you bring in the back can finish the job, especially the Blood Moon over here with your spread damage and your Life Orb damage. Then you've got Expanding Force over here coming from this Indeedee. Now, I will note, this is the female Indeedee rather than the male, but that's okay. You still have the terrain idea, so that's expected. But yeah, smart idea from Yuki. And then this, we'll see this 4 moving forward. Without a doubt. But look at this one. How about this one? You got Whimsicott over here with Arcanine and Blood Moon too. So still making variances in some of these options here. But again, no Pelipper on this Arcanine. We talked about this. So nice to see differences in that set. Again, it's not all about the stamina setup set. But now look down here. Look at Daniel or Becerra over here. This is I think this was on Iron Zang's channel a little bit. We've got Custap Berry Snorlax, okay? And it's, Furrigraph Snorlax here. You set up the stuff, Trick Room and what. First of all, Furrigraph, okay? It's been a while since we've seen Furrigraph usage in Regulation H. We did see it in the beginning a little bit, but then it fell off, right? Because of all the dark types running around. But now it's back here. Look at this. Calm Mind Furrigraph, okay? With Trick Room. Then you've got Weakness Policy Armors, okay? With Endure. Which means that's U-Turn Annihilate, and it is with the Choice Scarf. So you get to activate this, you go into an Indeedee, you click +2 Expanding Force, things melt, okay, and that's it. And then you go with the Torkoal Eruption Choice Specs idea if you go for your Trick Room idea. And then look at this, Custap Berry Snorlax with Body Slam, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Belly Jump. Oh my god, this is a set, this is a cool team. You gotta make this. This is crazy, but I think it's smart just from all these choices, and we did see this before, right? Even one of our friends, Ibrahim, was doing this, right? The Custap Berry Snorlax idea, but nice to see this here, in the big stage, right? In an international. So after that, look at this, standard Arcanine and Rain. Still getting good results here. We talked about this, right? This is the earliest rendition of Arc Rain in late August. And we said it's still good even now. And it's still good even now, right? Look at this. The most standard of teams. And again, like I said, if you're a beginner, you're trying to start out with Regulation H at this point, pick this one up because this has the most results. It's most consistent. Hard to say that, right? Because normally over a span of several months, teams fall and others rise. This one has been a mainstay since then. Okay, but now look at this. Now we're going to go into Justin Tang's team here. Like we mentioned earlier, the Mirror Herb Intimidator. Now we've got regular Arcanine with Mirror Herb. Wow. Okay, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, Will-O-Wisp, and Protect. Very, very interesting choice. But other than that, you've got Dragonite here with the Tailwind. Okay, Loaded Dice, Skill Shot, Tailwind, Dragonite. We said that. That was rising a little bit more. You've got the Alolan Ninetales with the Aurora Veil. Now you've got Weather Control, and now you've got Screens. Primarina coming in here. We saw Primarina dip in usage as the format has gone. Now we get to see it here a little bit more. Still dipping in usage, but Tang is making good use of it. Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and you still get Haze. So if you need Haze, you're going to click it. If you don't need Haze, you're clicking all of this. and you get immediate damage. You don't have to worry about, you know, throat spray setup over here because you got enough setup from these guys, right? With Nasty Plot, Goldango, and Bulk Up Annihilate there. You got the screens to be able to do it. And then the Arcanine and the Dragonite, they both have extreme speed here, so they can pick up potential KOs when things are relatively low in health, right? So you can deal a ton of damage with Goldango and Primarina, pick off the leftovers with extreme speed from these guys, and then the Ninetales just does a job. Support with weather control, support with screens, give me a little bit of speed control with Icy Wind. The Annihilate, same thing. Once I have those screens, let me set up with bulk ups and let me go ham, right? So very, very interesting choice there to have the Arcanine there. I think we're going to put that on the thumbnail. So thank you very much, Mr. Justin Tang. All right. How about this? The P2 balance stuff. We've seen this before. Usually this is your flexible slot. How about Kilowattrel here with competitive? So if you want to have ideas of intimidating this Ursaluna, we got news for you. Now you're going to make this thing pretty strong. So you're going to give this a lot of damage with air slashes and thunderbolts here. You don't want to do that, but interesting choice to have the Kilowattrel here. Pretty cool. How about, and again, how about this? Look at this. So we got Tailwind Dragonite here. Same thing with Protect. The Basculegion is coming here. So we saw the Goldango. Now we don't see the Goldango. Now we see Basculegion here. This is what I would do too. Okay, you've got the Choice Band Basculegion exerting a ton of pressure. Okay, and that's important because yes, you've got the Ursaluna. Yes, you've got Dragonite, but you need the Rain Abuser. And Basculegion, Pelipper, Arcanine is so good. Great idea from Lorenzo here. And then you've got the Sinistra here with the Trick Room stuff. This is what you're clicking, and you still have Tailwind here. I love this team. I like this a lot. In fact, I think this 6 is my favorite 6 from what I see over here. Okay, don't quote me on that, but I love this. And I think if I have a chance, you know, as we head into December or even just late November, I think I might make a whole video on this team. I may do my own spreads, and I might even make this a rental as we go into December. So who knows? But I really like this 6. I think it makes a lot of sense right now. You have a lot of tools. The Ursaluna can Earthquake next to a lot of different things. You can Earthquake next to your D-Knight. You can Earthquake next to your Pelipper. And even the Sinistra to a little bit, right? Because you're aggressive. You don't care about Earthquake. You just heal yourself back with Life Dew. You've got Matcha Gotcha over here. And then the Arcanine with the Assault Vest stuff with Snarl support is also really, really cool. So I like this. This is right. I like that team. Great job, Lorenzo. Solid job overall. Then we've got these teams, you know, double flying type here with Murkrow and Pelipper here. And then the Blood Moon, right? So Tailwind, Life Orb, Blood Moon, you know, accompanying the Pelipper, Arcanine, Basculegion idea. And then here's Rillaboom for giving you grassy terrain support and fake out pressure. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's very solid. But now look at this. Okay, I was going to say, are we going to run Mirror Up on this too? Same idea. Sinistra, Pelipper, Arcanine, Ursaluna. Your new big 4 almost. Okay, but we've got Hisuian Arcanine over here. Okay, that's interesting. I guess that's pretty good, you know, for the Rillaboom stuff. But you've got another Intimidator coming in. And then you've got Hisuian Zoroark. Look at this. What are we doing here? Okay, this must be a global challenge idea, right? I don't know. But nice to see Hisuian Zoroark on something like this. I don't think I ever would have placed this on an Arc Rain team. But hey, if it makes sense, you gotta roll with it. I like it. It's different, right? And it adds a little bit of flavor into what is otherwise a very delicious team. Don't quote me on that either. All right, another P2 balance here with Tyranitar. We've seen this plenty of times, you know, before. But how about the side spam stuff? So look at this, Oliver Escalin. Same thing. Tailwind Setter. Give me Sneasel and Indeedee. Give me Blood Moon. There's my big 4. Give me Dragonite now and give me Electabuzz. Okay, you've got it. And, you know, Buzz is, again, really good on a team like this. You get a solid redirector. You deal damage behind it. It's hard to break through. And, you know, Vital Spirit, you get to redirect the Munga shenanigans. So pretty cool in itself. And look, Imprison Trick Room, that's very good. I've always liked Imprison Trick Room on the mailing DDs. You know, I didn't like playing without Imprison. So it's nice to see that here. And then look at this from Tiago. Indeedee, Sneasel, Delphox. Okay, but look at this Delphox though. First of all, it's the female Indeedee. So now you can set up with Calm Minds. And then you go for these +1 expanding forces or these +1 heat waves. It does so much damage. And then you've got Mousehold, Annihilate here. So it's another Mouse 8 team here. Then you've got Meowscarada. Nice to see this. I wonder what was the reasoning behind Meowscarada on to try something here. Now, again, it's a pretty decent Pokemon. It's a niche option here, but nice to see that there. Then we've got Nick Donnelly here. Look at this. I just want to click Tailwind Eruption is what he's saying. All right, and then I just want to also spam Expanding Force a little bit and then make my Sneasel a little bit stronger. Give me Blood Moon. I want to nuke something. Give me my Electabuzz because Electabuzz is good. Right? So overall, some interesting options. But now, the Gliscor, right? We made a whole video on this because we said it was like your anti-Sneasel a little bit because you are ground flying. Imagine Landorus in a format like this. Jesus, Landorus would go crazy. It's the Toxic Orb set. Swords Dance, Dual Wing Beat, High Horsepower. Yes, we talked about that set. So nice to see Gliscor here. But it wasn't the only team with Gliscor too. I think I may have passed another one. I'm not sure, but I think I did. But if not, I know there was at least another one that I missed. And we'll probably find it a little bit later. But, okay, there wasn't any. So let me go down a little bit more. And we'll see if we can find that second Gliscor team. But overall, you know, not too much ideas here. Look, this is still the same Sneasel balance stuff with Dondozo over here. The solo Dozo. How about Mienshao here? Holy smokes. Look, it's a P2 balance team. And then your 6th slot is your flex slot. How about you add Mienshao here with Inner Focus? Close combat, not knockoff. Oh, Ice Spinner. Bro, I did not know Mienshao got Ice Spinner. Ah, now it makes some sense here. And then we've got Wyguard too. So look, you can even well, no, now you can't because he doesn't even have it. But substitute Ursaluna, that we've seen before. But this is pretty cool. Nice to see Mienshao there. I wonder how far this could go from Jacob. But then as we go down here, there it is. I wanted to look at this one. Another Pokemon that we got in the thumbnail. Garganacl from Pengy, aka Stefan Mott. Yes, I remember when someone did a coaching session with me, they wanted to use Garganacl, and you know it felt good in the meta, but we just couldn't really find the pieces around it. Looks like Pengy has found it, and we've got Instant, we've got Screens, Ninetales again. Here's the Sneasel with coaching, okay, and then we've got Solo Dozo here along with Scarf Goldengo. Look at this. Coaching Sneasel. Can I coach my Garganacl? Oh my goodness. Oh, and it's Stealth Rock too. Bro, listen, we saw this with like Clefairy Stealth Rock. That does so much into not only just like Sneasel and Breaking Sash, the Sun teams like Charizard. They don't want to be taking that. The Torkoals, the other stuff, the instants. A lot of things, they don't want to be taking Stealth Rock damage. And the fact that we've got that here on Garganacl, smart choice there from Pengy. And then, of course, the Salt Cure Recover stuff. We already know that. Maranga Berry. Wow. My goodness. Okay, I want to see how far Garganacl can go here. But it made it the thumbnail. So we can take some solace into that. Joe's running his Sun team here. So great job, Joe. We're rooting for you. Then as we go down a little bit more, Hydreigon. Look at this from James. James has used this team plenty of times. Okay, this is not new. He's used this before. Annihilate, Maushold, Talonflame, Hydreigon, Goldengo. That we know. We've seen this before in like Regulation A. So no surprise here. Nice to see James come out and have a good solid result. There's that other Gliscor team with the Arcanine and Grimmsnarl stuff. So look at this. You've got Screens, you've got the Gliscor, the Toxic Orb, and we're going ham here. So that's pretty cool. And then, is this any different than the one over? No, I think it's the same one. So we got Lorenzo and we've got Jacob over here. So maybe they probably built together, or maybe they just, you know, picked up something here. But nice to see Gliscor have an appearance, especially after we made a small video on it. And then little Gastrodon here. Of course, we're always believers in Gastrodon. We put this on our Baxcalibur balance team because we liked it a little bit more than Dondozo at the time. You know, sometimes people just overall like Dondozo, especially the solo idea. But little Gastrodon sneaking in here with Earth Power, Ice Beam, and Yawn. So, pretty standard set, obviously. And it's coaching Sneasel, as expected. Terra Fairy, Quiver Dance, Terra Blast, Volcarona. Nothing new over there. But all in all, nice to see some of these options do very, very well. Look, another Como team, right? From Arthur. Como Sand, like I'm rooting for Como, right? We've seen enough from the Big Four. It's time we get that 5th dragon of victory here, and I would love to see Como take the whole thing. But we saw a lot of Doug ideas. Justin Burns here. Look at this. This is the Amoonguss idea. We saw the Rillaboom, but now we have Amoonguss. It's that Tailwind D-Knight idea. So look, this is another good solid Doug variation with the Dragonite, Ursaluna, and Goldengo, but in the Amoonguss Lab. But overall, I'm pleased with what we see. Chongjun, nice job here returning. It's been a while since we've seen Chongjun. And again, it's Arcanine Mirror. So look, this is the Tang. I would imagine they built together. So yeah, let's see how far this goes. Hopefully we can get a little bit more out of that squad. Maybe we can get a little bit more information about the Arcanine Mirror Herb tech choice. But again, we did see that earlier over here with Eric Rios with the Mirror Herb Incineroar. So that's pretty cool. But overall, nice day one. I'm very curious to see what day two holds for us. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the battles of the teams. And let's see what is going to be in store for day two. All right, but yeah. And again, if you're trying to go to Sacramento, if you need coaching and you need a little bit of help, time is of the essence. Make sure you book a session with us in the tier 3 section of the video. Look in the video description. Look in the comment section. We have a pinned link. We've been doing coaching sessions all week, and you know we still have some free slots. So if you're interested, you need some help building and hashing out your matchups, sign up. It's only $9.99. It doesn't really cost you all that much. And we've been able to help a lot of people in the past, especially when it came to regionals. Earn some CP, especially if it's your first time. You need a little bit of direction. You need a little bit of guidance. We can help you out. So sign up. And once you do, you can join the Discord. You can message me on the Discord. Actually, the Discord is free. You can join that right now. But again, once you do, then you can message us and we'll plan a session and we'll help you get what you need for Sacramento. Or if you just need something for ladder and something for like an in-person local, we can do that too. All in all, the tier 3 sub will help you do that. Okay, but that's it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Enjoy day 2. Have a good one.